Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Upper Edge podcast. Today, I'm joined by Martinez. He is from Accountable Home Services, and he's the guy you call when you got an emergency, when there's flood, mold, fires, you name it. They do all the restoration. Hey, Mike. Hey, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
I appreciate that, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Mike. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into the restoration business? And what led you to start Accountable Home Services?
Yeah, so a little backstory or history about me is I actually went to school and I got my automotive management degree. I was in the automotive industry before doing restoration, property restoration, and um I had a really, I had a really good friend at the time where he himself started a restoration company, and he's the one that got me into the business. Um, he got into the business. If I'm not mistaken, like 2016, 2017, around that time frame. And he's the one's like, "Hey, Mike, I'm starting this journey. Do you want to be part of it?" It always intrigued me, but like I was young, and I wanted to stick with my degree, so I ended up sticking with my degree for a little bit, and then I pretty much reached the top where I was at, and without being the business owner, and I just wanted to do something for myself. So then, I was always in communication with my friend, and yeah, late 2019, early 2020, I was like, you know what, I'm ready to make a change. So I was part of a franchise before I went on my own. So I was in the franchise with my buddy, and everything was going well, But I was with the franchise for a few years, and then after a while, I just wanted to do a little bit more than just a water, fire, mold. We wanted to get into other stuff, other services. So that's where I started Accountable Home Services. Being in the industry, it's just in the trades industry. I just feel like contractors lack accountability, and sometimes, I even saw it myself. Like, there was just some contractors that they simply did not care. They would start a project and not complete it. So they just didn't. They just lacked accountability. So that's where the name came about. That's where the bison came along as well. There's a story behind that as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we do a little bit more than just water, fire, mold. We take care of any homeowners that have any home services needs that they need.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because especially if somebody hires you originally for some type of restoration service, maybe they have an emergency, you were there for, you were accountable.
Yep.
They did a great job, and then they're definitely looking probably to have you back for other services if you have that to offer, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, it all starts with the trust, man. Like,
Yeah,
it's just, just being the consistency of it. You first, I mean, you gotta answer the phone first and foremost.
yeah.
You got
Answer the
you
phone,
got
right? Yeah,
you gotta
communicate.
answer the phone. Just be friendly, man. Just be held accountable, and when things don't go as planned, just sometimes you just gotta own up to it and be like, hey,
Right.
just didn't go as planned, and just make it right.
Yeah, 100%. Can't agree more. So for someone who's like never had to call a restoration company, how does that process work? What happens when somebody, like, from the moment they pick up the phone, they call you? Like, what's the process? How's that go? How's that work out?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. Uh, so with the water, fire, mold, it's emergency based. So it's
Yeah.
very, I would say it's very reactive. We're always we it's hard to be proactive in our line of work because typically people are calling us in their worst days, right? Nobody wants to wake up,
Right.
or nobody wants to wake up in the middle of the night to a flooded basement or get home to a flooded basement. So when that happens, uh, it's chaotic sometimes and it's stressful. So we try to take that ease away from, take that stress away from them and just make it as easy as possible. So when they call us, um, I would always suggest, whether you go with us or any other restoration company, like call and have them go out and perform an assessment or a walkthrough before filing a claim, because not every job is worth having a claim. And even if you call your insurance and it's a zero claim, it still goes down as a claim, and it's not good for your
Because you
history.
opened it up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So having a professional go out and performing a walkthrough, give you an assessment, see what's damaged, give you a rough estimate of what's going to cost. And then at that point, if it's worth it to file a claim, then you can file a claim. If not, just try pay out of pocket.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you can do it. So, like you said, this could be somebody who wakes up in the middle of the night and their basement's flooded. They're usually the homeowner, they're not sleeping that night, right? They're probably stressed out. Do you guys come out like 24/7? Are you available for emergencies like that? Or is that a wait? And like, how
No,
are you fielding those calls if somebody calls in the middle of the night? Are they getting a response?
yeah, 100%. Every call that comes through gets answered. We have our team, we have an on-call rotation. Every guy is on call, it's on a weekly schedule. So one guy's on call for the week. And yeah, I mean, we've gone costs. I mean, I've been in business for almost 7 years now, 7, 8 years now. So I've gone costs pretty much every single hour of the day. Yeah, it's some. I mean, especially like in the winter when all the pipes are freezing. Like, uh,
Yeah.
there's been some nights that we haven't gone much sleep. So it's
Yeah.
any
I bet. So
it
you'll
can.
actually show up. You'll show up. If they call 2 a.m., you guys say, okay, we'll be out there. We'll get that water shut off. We'll bring some calm to the chaos.
Yep, exactly. Always.
Superheroes over here, man. Saving the day.
We try to be, man. We try to be.
Yeah, sounds like it. So, let's see here. You've grown the business. What's been one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome?
Uh, and there's a lot, right? There's a lot in
Right.
our industry, just because of the nature of the industry. It could take a toll on your body. You know, not only being on call, um, doing the labor itself can be, it's hard. It's doing labor. It's not easy, right? So the turnover rate on the industry can be pretty high sometimes. But I try to keep that culture and internally with the team. So having the on-call rotation definitely helps. Um, just having a good culture and just taking care of the people. You know, you gotta be able to take care of your people. And I want to say your people is like your staff. Uh, every everybody's needs are different. Some people want more time flexibility. Some people want more money. So you just got to be able to find their needs and fulfill their needs. That's internally, within the staff, but also just the industry itself. It could be a roller coaster sometimes, and there's going to be some months that you're very busy that you don't know what to do, and then there's going to be some other months that are not as busy and quote unquote slower months. And at that point, you're freaking out because you don't know how you're going to make payroll, right? So
Yeah, right.
having that
How,
steady workflow coming in, it's also key. So building good relationships with good people. It's
yeah. Where do you, how do you build these relationships? Like, where are you getting most of your business from today?
So we work with, honestly, anybody and everybody that steps into a house. So our number one, because we deal with a lot with insurance. So insurance agents are going to be one of our biggest power partners. Plumbers as well. Plumbers are always
Yeah.
going to be on a job site, and a homeowner, if they have a leak, they're going to call. They're going to call one of three people. They're going to either call their insurance agent, and hopefully that insurance agent calls us, and then we go out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to call the plumber to go out and fix the leak, and then hopefully that plumber refers us out. If someone is renting, they're going to call their property manager, and then hopefully that property manager calls us, uh, or they call us directly, right? So um, there's a lot of people, and we also work with other contractors as well, because when they're doing demo and they want to remodel a kitchen or a bathroom, especially on bathrooms, they can easily remove, demo out the shower, and they discover a lot of mold. So
Oh, you're right. It's a
we
whole
go
other issue right there, right?
yeah, so we go in there and we do the treatment, do the remediation, get everything passed, get the clearance passed, so they can have a mold-free bathroom afterwards.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're just discussing about like client acquisition, because uh, a lot of people, they want to start a business, right? Entrepreneurs like, I got this idea, I want to start a business, but where's the customers going to come from? You know? So when you first started, what was that process like? I mean, did you get on like the insurance companies to be on a preferred vendor list, or like where was your starting point for that? Kind of build that
Yeah,
consistent flow of customers.
yeah. So I mean, there's a number of things, right? You can always, in the beginning, on social media and online marketing, it's going to be the easiest way to scale. Um, if you have the means to do it, right? Definitely Google Ads is going to be number one, the easiest way to get workflow, but it's not sustainable in the long haul. So, being able to go out and get involved in the community, be involved with the Chamber of Commerce, um, just get involved in your community in general. If there's any events that are happening, get involved with those events. If you're able to sponsor an event, become a sponsor and get your brand out there. And just show up. Showing up, it's half the battle. If you can show up, let's say, let's just say you have one event a week and you show up and you just meet one person that week. At the end of the year, that's 52 people that you've met that year. And if those 52 people are sending you work, yeah. So it's a consistency, right? You gotta be consistent in everything that you do. Just like, working out or eating healthy. If you want to be healthy, you gotta be consistent. This is no different here. You have to be consistent with the networking and marketing that we do in our business or any business that you want to grow.
That's great advice. Yeah. Because that's most people don't know where to start and it holds them back. So like you said, there's not one single pipeline that you would go for. You're going all over the place. You said Chamber of Commerce, online marketing, events, everywhere, right? Just be present, be there.
Everywhere. Yeah, 100%, man. And you also got to find your niche too. And when I say find your niche, like you got to be able to do stuff that is enjoyable for you. For example, I know a real estate agent who loves to fish. So he goes out and goes fishing and he takes a couple of his vendors, a couple of his buddies to go out fishing with them. And that's one way that he does marketing. I enjoy playing golf myself. So I take a couple of vendors and a couple of, customers out golfing. And that's one way to be able to network with them. So just got to be able to find what you enjoy doing and get some people to do that. Either go with you or maybe even host an event that involves
Yeah.
that. So your brand is
Yeah.
so there. So
Great. Yeah. Just keep nurturing those relationships. Huh? I,
exactly.
I hear accountable. So accountable home services, that's like such a strong name. Have you ever thought about franchising it out yourself? Because I know you have experience with franchises, right? So you know how they operate, and then you ran your own business. I'm sure it's crossed your mind, like, wow, this is something I could probably offer to other people, and they'd probably love to have the opportunity.
Yeah, I have a history with franchises, and
Yeah,
it's I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna leave the door open just because you just never know. Um, it's I'll just put it this way. It's a maybe.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I feel you because it's your name too. It's what you built, and then it's a whole that's a whole other business, right? Franchising
Yeah,
company out, and
yeah, franchising
yeah,
your that's a whole other business by itself. Like, yeah,
that's a whole other operation.
yeah,
Yeah, I was just thinking about what you're thinking about the future. If you're kind of thinking about that, maybe. All right, maybe I like that.
yes.
So you tell me we got a chance.
You're telling, yep, there's definitely a chance for sure.
Yeah. Cool. So I'd like to talk a little bit kind of about like technology and AI. So in your business, how's technology changed like in the restoration industry over the past few years?
Yeah, so AI is here already, right? It's one of those things
Yes.
where if you're not using AI, you're falling behind. I, you know, I mean, I was young to remember when the internet came out, but I still remember it. It's one of those things like AI is very similar, and I just feel like it's faster than the internet, though. Um, it's
Right.
it's
It
going
was
to
moving
turn
very
around
quick.
a lot faster. Yeah. But one of the things that we how we utilize AI is the customer experience. It's making sure that the customer is aware of exactly every status where the project is sitting. Um, so the communication with the homeowners is going to be huge. Um, Talking to insurance agents, talking to insurance adjusters as well. It's important. We have to be on top of the communication and be able to give the insurance the information they need. Also, there's dry logs, there's equipment, uh, there's yeah. So, but the majority of it is as of right now is going to be the communication and the streamline on how to automate some of that communication between the homeowner and the insurance.
That's great. So is it something that's working really well for you, or is that something that you're still trying to perfect?
I mean, there's always going to be stuff to perfect, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it's perfect, but it's definitely helped. Yeah, there's standards. Just like everything else, there's standards to what we do, and we gotta hold ourselves accountable, right? So there's a standard for how to do the water mitigation, fire mold, and there that with AI we're able to utilize that the books that we have, the trainings that we've gotten. With AI, we're able to utilize that to be able to invoice or estimate accordingly with the standards that both the insurance and us are held.
That's really cool. Is that something that's built into your existing CRM that you use?
No, I pretty much I've trained an agent to be able to determine like how to go about how we as a business how we operate and what the insurance carriers need from us.
Interesting. So you've taken like a real initiative into this. You're excited about it,
But yeah,
and
I
you
mean,
have a real genuine
yeah,
interest.
100%. Yeah, so I've dabbled in AI agents myself. Here with our business, we have agents for a lot of different tasks that we need to do. If I build an agent, so if my technicians are on the field and they need to get an estimate on the spot, they literally hop onto these agents. They tell them the scope of work of what needs to get done, and then that agent spits out an estimate right then and there.
It's
Uh,
amazing. And
yeah,
has it been pretty on point with what the actual price is? You've been pretty
yeah,
happy with it?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then
Wow.
also, I also build another agent that I use it for more like training purposes for like new technicians. If they don't know what equipment is used or how much equipment is needed, I built this
Yeah.
agent to be like, to pretty much the agent asks the technician or whoever's using it, the user, I know how big the room is. What are you going to
Yeah.
be removing? If you're going to be removing just the floor, or you're going to be removing the ceiling, or gives them asks for scope of work, and then the dimensions of the room, and then it tells us the user what equipment is needed and how much equipment is going to be used.
That's awesome, man. That's great. It's so cool to hear that you're integrating that in your business and you're having such great success with it.
Yeah.
Is there any other areas of the business that you see automation or AI really helping out?
Uh, I mean, there's other ways. So I like when we're talking about insurance, insurance adjusters, they're always going to want to negotiate with you on your final invoice. So automating that communication with adjusters is going to be huge. Um,
Yeah.
but I AI is good for a lot of like monotonous tasks that are not fun, but
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to get rid of that human interaction. The human interaction is always going to be there, and the customer experience. At the end of the day, even like I'm a millennial, right? Um, a lot of us grew up not wanting to talk on the phone. I don't mind it. I don't. It's like that's just the nature of the business. But a lot of people just don't like it. But when things are not going the way that they would want them to, they want to talk to a human being. So
100%.
that's where we
Yeah.
come into play. Like I still have an office staff. I do have uh I technically still have like an AI, that helps distribute where the call is going. But once that call is routed to the right division, someone's always picking up the phone.
Perfect. That's exactly how it should be too. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Interesting, man. Yes, that's really cool. Really cool to hear all the ways it's helping out. But also, yeah, got to remember that that it's a human business. And people are usually calling you when they're like in an emergency. They need to talk to a person. So, yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So let's think. Looking back on your whole journey with this business, what's like a lesson you've learned that you wish somebody would have told you when you first started?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
uh,
Right. Yeah.
there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Um, I mean, two things, right? I mean, there's several. Number one, own up to your mistakes, own up to your, just hold yourself accountable. Consistency with, with the trade industry. I feel like a lot of people also lack the how to scale a trade because they are wanting to do everything themselves. They think nobody's going to do it like them. In reality, that's always gonna be the case. So being able to, take time to train your people and yeah, having that patience to train your people is going to be huge. If you want to scale the business, you have to invest in your people. So that's one thing I learned. In the beginning, I was getting very frustrated. Like the guys were not doing the way that I wanted to get done. And it gets frustrating, right? And I get it. I get it. It's not how you want it, but if you take the time to train your people, they will eventually hold that standard just like you do, and then they will then teach the next person, and then the next person, the next person. So that's one thing that I learned, and just save your money. Save your money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Live below your means because you just never know, especially in the trade industry or any other business, right? Like it could be very well right now, but if there's a season where it's not going the way that you would want it to go, then you're going to struggle. So just live below your means.
That's such good advice right there. Because when things are booming, that's great, but they're
Yeah,
always that way. They go up and down, just as anything in life. So yeah, that's great advice. You want to have some money in the piggy bank, you know. So
for sure, always.
yeah, I wish I would have learned that one a long time ago too.
Oh, same, same.
Yeah, nice. So hey, for anyone listening who might want to, hire you for your services or just connect with you, where would be the best place for them to reach out and learn more about Accountable Home Services?
Yeah, so feel free to follow us on social media. We're on pretty much all platforms. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're on X, formerly that's known as Twitter. We're on YouTube as well. Anywhere, any type of social media, you can also send us an email or give us a call. Accountable Home Services is our handle on every single platform. Accountable Home Services. And then if you want to shoot us an email, info@accountablehomeservices.com, or if you want to give us a call, 720-620-3272.
And they'll answer the phone 24 hours a day. So anytime.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. That's great, Mike. Hey, anything you'd like to add before we sign off?
No, just hold the standard, go out there and crush it, take accountability for the good and the bad. And just keep your head up and own up to your mistakes. And, it's always going to be a lesson, and just keep moving forward.
Solid advice right there. All right, Mike, thanks again for your time. Really enjoyed the conversation. And thanks to everybody out there for listening. Hope you enjoyed it too. And we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you, guys.